Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Sarai Hurt, founder of Hurt Wellness and creator of the Warrior Reset program. And today we are going to talk about something that affects so many people, but most people do not actually understand what is happening inside of them. We are talking about survival mode. Not just being stressed, not just being tired, not just having a lot going on. I mean that state where your body, your brain, your emotions, and your identity feel like they are constantly bracing for impact. You may look fine on the outside. You may still be working, parenting, leading, serving, showing up, taking care of everyone else, checking the boxes, and getting things done. But inside, you feel exhausted, you feel irritated, you feel disconnected, you feel like you cannot fully relax. You feel like peace almost makes you uncomfortable. You know you are meant for more, but your body keeps pulling you back into old patterns. And if that sounds familiar, I want you to know something right from the start. You are not broken, you are not weak, you are not lazy, you are not failing at life. Your nervous system may simply still be operating like it is in a battle you already survived. And today, I want to help you understand why that happens, what it looks like, and how you begin shifting from survival mode into what I call mission mode. Because the goal is not to lose your strength. The goal is to stop using survival as your operating system. There is a difference between being strong and constantly being guarded. There's a difference between being disciplined and being emotionally shut down. There is a difference between being prepared and never being able to rest or relax. And that is what this webinar is about. So thank you for joining me today and taking that first step. This training is for you if you have ever felt like you're always on edge or you overthink everything. You react faster than you want to. You get irritated, angry, or shut down before you can even process what is happening. You feel numb when you should feel connected. You crave peace but do not fully trust it. You are tired of carrying everyone else while secretly feeling like you are falling apart. Been there. You keep telling yourself, I should be over this by now. You know you are capable of more, but something inside keeps pulling you into old habits, old relationships, old reactions, or old survival patterns. This is especially for people who have been through trauma, chronic stress, high pressure environments, caregiving roles, leadership roles, military life, first responder life, entrepreneurship, or years of always having to be the strong one. Definitely been there. Because when you spend years surviving, your body gets really good at survival, let me tell you. But here's the problem. Survival skills are powerful in a crisis. But when survival becomes your personality, your relationships, your leadership style, and your daily operating system, it starts costing you your peace. And we do not want that because we were not created just to survive. You were created to live, lead, love, build, create, and become the fullest version of who you are. Before we go deeper, I want you to take a second and just check in with yourself. You don't have to do anything fancy, just notice your body. I want you to notice your jaw, your shoulders, your chest. Notice your stomach, notice your breath. And ask yourself, do I feel safe in my body right now? Not safe like there is no danger around you, but safe enough to be present, safe enough to breathe, safe enough to soften, safe enough to receive something new. Because this work is not about forcing yourself to change. It is about creating enough safety inside your nervous system that change becomes possible. That is the first key. You cannot shame yourself into healing. You cannot bully yourself into peace. You cannot overthink your way into regulation. You have to learn how to work with your body, not against it. And that is exactly what Warrior Reset is built to teach. Let's start with the big question. What is survival mode? Survival mode is when your nervous system is operating from protection instead of connection. It is when your brain and body are more focused on keeping you safe than helping you feel peaceful, creative, confident, or connected. Now, this can happen because of major trauma, but it can also happen from years of chronic stress. years of being in unhealthy relationships, years of financial pressure, years of caregiving, years of being the dependable one, years of being criticized, dismissed, rejected, abandoned, or emotionally unsafe, years of always needing to figure everything out. Your nervous system learns. It learns what feels dangerous. It feels what feels unpredictable. It learns who is safe and who is not. It learns when to speak and when to stay silent. It learns when to fight, when to run, when to freeze, and when to perform. And once your body learns a survival pattern, it can keep repeating that pattern even when the original threat is gone. That is why you can be sitting in your house completely safe and still feel like something bad is about to happen. That is why a simple conversation can feel like a confrontation. That is why someone's tone of voice can send you into a spiral. That is why rest can feel uncomfortable. That is why success can feel unsafe. That is why healthy relationships can feel boring or suspicious. Your body is not trying to sabotage you. Your body is trying to protect you based on what it learned. And the problem is that sometimes your protective system is working off old information. It is like your internal alarm system got set years ago, and now it goes off every time someone burns toast. And as helpful as that is in a fire, it is exhausting at breakfast. But that is survival mode. Now, let's talk about what this can look like in real life. One of the phrases I use inside Warrior Reset is your body may still be on mission, meaning your body is still scanning, bracing, preparing, defending, and reacting as if you are still in an old environment. Here are some signs your nervous system may still be on mission. You struggle to relax without feeling guilty. You are always waiting for the other shoe to drop. You get easily irritated by small things. You over explain yourself because being misunderstood feels dangerous. Yeah, that's totally me. You shut down emotionally when conflict happens. You replay conversations over and over, guilty. You feel responsible for everyone else's emotions. You have trouble asking for help. You feel like if you stop moving, everything will fall apart. You feel more comfortable in chaos than peace. You can handle a crisis, but calm, oh, calm feels strange. You are highly productive, but deeply exhausted. You are physically present, but mentally somewhere else. You know what you should do, but your body will not let you do it. And that last one is important because a lot of people think transformation is just about knowing better. But let me lovingly tell you something. Knowing better does not always mean your nervous system feels safe enough to do better. That is why mindset work alone does not always create lasting change. You can repeat affirmations all day. You can write goals. You can make vision boards. You can read the books. You can listen to the podcast. You can know exactly what patterns you are repeating. But if your body still feels unsafe, your nervous system will keep pulling you back into what is familiar, and familiar does not always mean healthy. Sometimes familiar means chaos. Sometimes familiar means overgiving. Sometimes it means being emotionally shut down. Sometimes familiar means choosing people who do not choose you. Sometimes familiar means procrastination because success feels exposed. Sometimes familiar means staying small because being seen once got you hurt. So Warrior Reset does not start with just think positive. I love a good positive mindset. I'm a fan, truly. But if your nervous system is screaming, we're under attack, and you are trying to slap an affirmation sticker on it, your body is going to say, cute quote, babe, but we're still not safe. And that is why we start deeper. We start with regulation. This is one of the biggest things I want people to understand. Mindset matters. Your thoughts matter. Your beliefs matter. Your focus matters. But your nervous system is the soil your mindset grows in. If your nervous system is dysregulated, your mind will often produce thoughts that match that state. When your body is in flight mode, your thoughts may sound like, I have to defend myself. No one respects me. I cannot trust anyone. I need to take control. When your body is in flight mode, your thoughts may sound like, I need to get out of here. I cannot handle this. I have to fix this now. I need to stay busy. When your body is in freeze mode, your thoughts may sound like, I don't know what to do. I feel stuck. What is wrong with me? I cannot move forward. When your body is in fawn mode, your thoughts may sound like, I need to keep them happy. If I say no, they will leave. My needs do not matter right now. I should just keep the peace. So when people say change your thoughts, yes, that is part of it. But sometimes you have to first change the state your thoughts are coming from, because a dysregulated nervous system will turn even a small problem into a full-blown mission briefing. And your brain will gather evidence, your brain will brace, your emotions will rise, and before you know it, you are not responding to what is happening now. You are responding to every time something like this happened before. That is why in Warrior Reset, we work with the body, the mind, and the identity. Because if you only change your thoughts, but never teach your body safety, the old reactions come back. Imagine that. And if you only calm your body, but never examine your beliefs or the old stories you tell yourself, they come back. If you only understand your trauma, but never rebuild who you are becoming, the old identity comes back. Transformation has to happen on multiple levels, and that is where the real strategy comes in. Inside Warrior Reset, I use my signature method called the R.E.A.L strategy. R.E.A.L stands for regulate, embody, align, and lead. This is the process that helps you move from reacting from survival into living from clarity, strength, and purpose. Let's break that down. The R stands for regulate. That is the first step, is regulation. This is where we teach your nervous system that it does not have to stay on high alert all the time. Regulation is not about pretending everything is fine. It is not about suppressing your emotions. It is not about being calm every second of the day, like some floating monk who never gets annoyed in traffic. So, let's be real. Somebody cuts you off on the freeway and suddenly your inner warrior is standing on the dashboard with a sword. Absolutely. Regulation means you learn how to notice what is happening inside of you before it takes over. You learn to pause, you learn to breathe, you learn to identify your state, you learn to ask, am I actually in danger or am I activated? Is this moment asking for protection or is my body reacting to the past? What does my nervous system need right now? This is where we use tools like breath work, grounding, body awareness, somatic release, and nervous system education, because you cannot lead yourself if your nervous system is hijacking the mission. Regulation gives you the pause, and the pause gives you power. The second step is embody. This is where the work moves from information into integration. A lot of people know what they want. They know they want boundaries. They know they want confidence. They know they want peace. They know they want healthier relationships. They know they want discipline. And they know they want a different life. But knowing it and embodying it are two different things. Embody means your body starts learning a new way to exist. Instead of just saying, I am safe, your body begins to feel safer. Instead of you just saying, I have boundaries, your body learns how to hold a boundary without panic. Instead of just saying, I am confident, your posture, breath, voice, and choices begin to reflect confidence. Instead of just saying, I am done with survival mode, your daily habits begin to prove it. And embodiment is where we stop performing healing and start becoming it. This is where you begin to notice, how do I carry stress in my body? Where do I collapse? Where do I armor up? Where do I abandon myself? Where do I override my needs? And where do I silence my truth? Because your body tells the truth. Your shoulders tell a story. Your jaw tells a story. Your breath tells a story. Your posture tells a story. And your reactions, they tell a story. And inside Warrior Reset, we learn how to listen to those stories without shame. Because the body is not the enemy. The body is the messenger. The third step is align. Once we begin regulating and embodying a new way of being, you have to ask, who am I becoming? Because healing is not just about what happened to you, it is also about what you are building now. Alignment is where we look at your values, your identity, your choices, your relationships, your bad habits, your mission. A lot of people stay stuck because they are trying to build a new life with an old identity. They say they want peace, but they keep choosing chaos. They say they want confidence, but they keep shrinking. They say they want purpose, but they keep distracting themselves. They say they want better relationships, but they keep abandoning their own boundaries. Not because they're bad, because their identity has not caught up to their desire. Alignment means we bring your inner world and outer actions into agreement. You stop asking what will keep everyone comfortable and you start asking what is aligned with who I am becoming. You stop living from guilt. You stop living from fear. You stop living from old programming. You start choosing from clarity. Alignment is powerful because it gives your healing direction. You are not just calming down, you are rebuilding. You are not just coping, you are becoming. The final step is lead. This is where you stop waiting for life to feel easy before you show up. You begin leading yourself. You lead your emotions instead of being ruled by them. You lead your thoughts instead of believing every fear story. You lead your habits instead of waiting for motivation. You lead your relationships with clarity. You lead your mission with discipline. You lead your life from the version of you that is no longer just surviving. Leadership does not mean you never struggle. It means struggle does not get to define the mission. Inside Warrior Reset, leadership is not about controlling everything. It is about becoming someone you can trust, someone who can pause before reacting, someone who can hold a boundary, someone who can recover after being triggered, someone who can make decisions from values instead of fear, someone who can move forward even when the old survival patterns try to pull them back. That is the full real strategy. Regulate your nervous system, embody safety and strength, align with who you are becoming, and lead your life from purpose, not survival. Now I want to talk about the 5 common survival patterns we work through inside Warrior Reset. You may recognize yourself in one of these, or you may recognize yourself in all 5 because the nervous system likes a combo platter. No judgment. Healing is not always elegant, and it is not linear. Sometimes growth looks like crying, breathing, journaling, and then eating snacks in your car, wondering why you're like this. We keep it real here. So the first one is threat response. The threat response is when your body is constantly scanning for danger. You may read it into tone. You may notice every facial expression. You may feel tension in the room before anyone says anything. You may assume something is wrong before you have proof. I am absolutely guilty of that. This can make you hyper aware, but it can also make you exhausted. The gift of this pattern is discernment. The wound of this pattern is that your body does not know how to stop scanning. The reset is learning how to recognize. This is a signal, not always a sentence. Meaning your body is giving you information, but it does not always mean the worst case scenario is true. And I have learned that the hard way. The second one is the control response. The control response is when your nervous system believes safety comes from managing everything. The schedule, the people, the details, the outcome, the conversation, the plan, the vibe. You may struggle when things feel uncertain. You may feel responsible for preventing problems. You may have a hard time delegating or trusting others. The gift of this pattern is leadership and responsibility. The wound is exhaustion, deep exhaustion, soul level exhaustion, because when control becomes your safety strategy, you never get to rest. The reset is learning I can be prepared without being tense. I can be responsible without carrying everything. And that is huge. We have to let other people help us. Third is identity response. The identity response is when your sense of self gets built around who you had to become to survive. Maybe you became the strong one, the funny one, the helper, the fixer, the achiever, the tough one, the calm one, the one who never needs anything, the one who can handle it. And maybe that identity helped you. Maybe now it might be limiting you because you had to be what you had to become to survive may not be who you are meant to become to thrive. The gift of this pattern is resilience. The wound is self abandonment. And the reset is asking, who am I when I no longer perform strength? And that question right there can change your life. Number 4 is emotional suppression response. This is when you learn to push emotions down because feeling them was too much, too unsafe, or too inconvenient for the people around you. You may say, I'm fine, when you are absolutely not fine. You may stay busy so you do not have to feel. You may avoid hard conversations. You may numb yourself with food, work, scrolling, alcohol, shopping, overhelping, or overthinking. The gift of this pattern is that it helped you function. The wound is disconnection because emotions do not disappear just because we bury them, if only. They usually come out sideways. They come out through anger, shutdown, anxiety, resentment, most definitely tension in your body, and chronic exhaustion. The reset is learning how to feel safely, slowly, and without drowning in it. Number 5 is meaning and mission response. And this one is big. This is when you have been through so much that you start questioning, what is the point? Who am I now? What am I supposed to do with all this? Why did I survive this? Survival's guilt is huge, right? Why do I feel called to more but keep getting stuck? This pattern often shows up in people who are leaders, veterans, first responders, caregivers, entrepreneurs, healers, and cycle breakers. People who are not just trying to feel better, they are trying to rebuild purpose. The gift of this pattern is depth. The wound is disorientation. The reset is reconnecting to a new mission. Not a mission based on proving yourself, not a mission based on survival, not a mission based on everyone else's expectations. A mission rooted in truth, healing, service, leadership, and most of all, purpose. We have to have purpose. So now I want to give you a practical tool you can start using today. I call this the Trigger to Spiral map, and you can actually get my workbook for free right now at my website, hurtwellness.com. This workbook and this technique helps you understand what happens between the moment you get triggered and the moment you react, shut down, spiral, or disconnect. Most people only notice the reaction. They say, I snapped, I shut down, I spiraled, I overthought it, I sent the text, I avoided the conversation, I ate the whole pantry. Again, no shame. We have all been personally victimized by a pantry at some point. I mean, I'm just saying, when there's cookies and anyways, but the reaction is not where the pattern starts. The pattern usually follows a sequence. A situation happens, you have a thought, your body responds, an emotion comes up, you react in your behavior to that emotion, and then the aftermath ensues. So let's walk through it. The situation might be someone does not text you back. The thought might be they are ignoring me. The body response might be tight chest, stomach drop, jaw tension, shallow breathing. The emotion might be anxiety, anger, shame, sadness, and your behavior might be sending multiple texts, shutting down, stalking their social media, pretending you do not care, or mentally writing a whole courtroom argument. Yeah, been there. The aftermath might be regret, 100%, exhaustion, embarrassment, resentment, or feeling even more unsafe. Now, here's where the work begins. Instead of judging the reaction, we get curious about the pattern. What did my body think was happening? What old wound did this touch? What story did my mind create? And was it true? Probably not. What did I need in that moment? What would regulation have looked like before I reacted? This is how you begin interrupting survival mode, not by shaming yourself, by mapping the mission. Because when you can see the pattern, you can change the pattern. I promise. I've done it. Now, let's do a simple practice together. You can do this seated, and if you are driving or doing something that needs your attention, just listen and do it later. first, place one hand on your chest and one hand on your lower belly, if that feels comfortable. Now, I want you to take a slow breath in through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth. Again, inhale and exhale. Now look around the room and name 3 things you can see, just silently to yourself. Now notice one thing you can feel physically, maybe your feet on the floor, your back against the chair, your hands touching your body. Now soften your jaw, drop your shoulders, let your tongue relax away from the roof of your mouth, and say to yourself, in this moment, I am here. In this moment, I can breathe. In this moment, I can pause. Now take one more slow breath. This is simple, but simple does not mean weak. This is how we begin teaching the nervous system presence. A regulated nervous system does not mean nothing bothers you. It means you have a pathway back to yourself. And that pathway back is everything. This is why I created Warrior Reset. And honestly, this work did not just come from studying nervous system regulation, somatic healing, coaching, trauma, or mindset work. It came from my own life. I know what survival mode feels like because I lived there for a long time. My childhood was tumultuous, like many people's. I learned early how to read the room, how to brace myself, how to stay alert, how to protect myself emotionally, and how to keep going even when things inside of me did not feel okay. For a long time, I did not call that survival mode. I called it just how I am. I thought being guarded was normal. I thought always being prepared for something to go wrong was normal. I thought overthinking, reacting, protecting, and scanning were just part of life. But then I became close friends with a guy who was in the Army. He was special forces, or he is special forces, and had made the military his career. And through that friendship, I started seeing survival mode in a completely different way. Every conversation we had, it seemed like he was scanning for a hidden agenda. If I was kind, it felt suspicious to him. If I was direct, I was too much. If I showed emotion, oh, well, then I was unstable. If I tried to explain myself, it sounded like manipulation. If I pulled back, well, that became a problem too. There were moments where I felt like nothing I did could land safely. And at first I took it personally. I thought, what am I doing wrong? And honestly, I did a deep dive on my own self to become better. And that's why over time, I started to realize something deeper was happening. He was not just responding to me. He was responding through a nervous system that had been trained to scan for threat. And here is where it got real for me. His reaction started making me look at my own. Because while I could see his survival patterns, I also had to be honest enough to recognize mine. Through my somatic emotional release classes, my healing work, and honestly, through him calling me out on some of my own behavior, I started realizing that I had been living in survival mode too. And that friendship became a mirror, not always a comfortable mirror. Sometimes it was the kind of mirror where you're like, wow, I came here for connection and apparently got a full nervous system audit. And I'm very grateful for that because it woke me up. It made me ask deeper questions like, why do people who have been through trauma still struggle to trust peace? Why does kindness sometimes feel suspicious? Why do calm moments feel unsafe? Why do some people feel more comfortable in conflict than connection? Why do people push away the very support they actually need? And why do many strong people suffer silently because they do not know how to turn off survival mode? That was the beginning of my deeper work. That is part of what led me to become a life coach and transformational specialist. And as I kept talking to more military men and women, veterans, first responders, and their spouses, I realized this was not just one person's pattern. This was common. So many of these men and women had been trained to stay alert, stay ready, stay guarded, stay controlled, and stay emotionally contained. And that training can save lives in the field. But when the mission is over and they come home, the nervous system does not always know how to come home too. So they may be sitting at dinner with their family, but their body is still scanning. They may be trying to enjoy a peaceful moment, but their mind is waiting for the next threat. They may have people who love them, but they struggle to trust it. They may want connection, but suspicion speaks louder. They may want joy, but guilt interrupts it. They may want peace, but peace feels unfamiliar. And I started asking and started thinking about the spouses, partners, and families too. The people who love someone in survival mode often feel like they're constantly walking through an emotional minefield. They may be trying to help, but everything gets misread. They may be trying to connect, but they get pushed away. They may be trying to love someone who is still fighting invisible battles. And I learned more about how many veterans, soldiers, first responders, and high stress service members struggle with depression, isolation, emotional shutdown, and suicidal thoughts. And that breaks my heart right now, because these are people who have sacrificed so much. They have served, they have protected, they have carried things most people will never understand. And yet, so many of them are trying to survive the peaceful moments because peace does not feel peaceful in their bodies. And that is too big to ignore. That is why I created the R.E.A.L strategy, the Warrior Monk method, and the Warrior Reset program. They all stack upon each other because I do not want these men and women to just survive. I want them to get their lives back. I want them to enjoy the little moments again. I want them to sit with their family without feeling like they have to scan the room. I want them to laugh without guilt. I want them to rest without suspicion. And I want them to feel love without assuming there is a hidden agenda. I want them to experience peace without the demons in their head dragging them back into the war. And this is not only for military and first responders. This is for anyone whose nervous system learned survival before it learned safety. Anyone who grew up in chaos. Anyone who had to become strong too young. Anyone who learned to protect themselves by shutting down, controlling, fighting, pleasing, overthinking, or never fully relaxing. Warrior Reset exists because strong people need support too. Because capable people can still be exhausted. Because intelligent people can still be dysregulated. Because loving people can still react from old wounds. Because disciplined people can still be trapped in survival patterns. And because healing is not about becoming soft. It is about becoming steady. It is not about losing your edge. It is about no longer letting your edge cut you from the inside. It is not about pretending the past did not happen. It is about no longer letting the past command the mission. Warrior Reset is designed to help you move through 4 phases: regulate, calm the survival responses, and build nervous system awareness. Release, identify and interrupt old emotional, mental, and somatic patterns. Rebuild, create a new identity, new habits, new boundaries, and new internal leadership. To rise, to step into purpose, mission, confidence, and aligned action. This is the reset. This is where survival stops being a commander of your life. This is where you learn how to come home to yourself. Because the next mission is not hypervigilance. The next mission is peace. The next mission is presence. The next mission is learning how to live again. Now, you might be wondering, how is this different from therapy, coaching, mindset work, or just learning coping skills? Great question. I'm glad you asked. Warrior Reset is different because we are not just looking at one piece of the puzzle. We are looking at the full pattern. We look at the nervous system. We look at the body. We look at emotional reactions. We look at identity. We look at beliefs. We look at behavior. We look at relationships. We look at mission and purpose, because you are not just a mindset. You are not just a nervous system. You are not just a story, and you are not just a body. You are a whole person. And whole person transformation requires a whole person approach. My background in bodywork, somatic healing, nervous system regulation, coaching, trauma-informed support, communication, and personal transformation all comes together in this program. For years, I have worked with people's bodies. I have seen how stress shows up in the jaw, the shoulders, the hips, the breath, the posture, the muscles, the fascia, and the nervous system. I have seen how people carry things they do not even realize they are carrying. And I have also seen something beautiful. When the body starts to feel safe, people begin to come back to themselves. Their breath changes, their face changes, their choices change, their energy changes, their confidence changes, their relationships change, their life starts opening up. That is the work, not just managing symptoms, coming home to yourself. Warrior Reset may be for you if you feel like you are stuck in survival mode, you are tired of reacting from anger, fear, shutdown, or overwhelm. You want to understand your nervous system instead of feeling controlled by it. You are ready to stop repeating old patterns. You want practical tools that help you regulate in real life. You want to rebuild confidence, boundaries, discipline, and purpose. It could also be for you if you are ready to become emotionally stronger without becoming emotionally harder, or you are done letting the past lead your future. This program is especially powerful for people who are used to being the strong one, the leader, the protector, the caretaker, the high performer, the person everyone else leans on. Because sometimes the strongest people are the ones who need a safe place to finally exhale. And let me say this clearly. Needing support does not make you weak. It means you are human. Even warriors need recovery. Even leaders need guidance. Even strong people need spaces where they do not have to armor up. So here's my invitation to you. If this webinar spoke to you, if you heard yourself in these patterns, if something inside of you said, this is me, if you are ready to stop living on high alert, if you are ready to regulate your nervous system, rebuild your identity, and rise into your next mission, then I want to invite you to join the Warrior Reset program. And I want to make this really simple. You can start with a 7-day free trial. No pressure, no big commitment right away. Just 7 days to step inside the program, experience the work, and see if this is the right fit for you. Inside your free trial, you will get access to the first week of Warrior Reset, including the tools, lessons, and assessments that help you see where you are right now. Because before we can create change, we need awareness. You will begin identifying your survival patterns, your nervous system responses, and the ways your body may still be living on high alert. You will also get access to one group coaching session so you can experience the support, guidance, and community inside the program. My goal is not to pressure you into healing. My goal is to help you see that healing is possible. Before you invest in your healing journey, I want you to feel the value of this work. I want you to know whether this program feels aligned for you. I want you to feel supported, not sold to. Because the truth is, this work requires honesty. It requires willingness. It requires openness. Not perfection, not having it all figured out, not by any means, not showing up when your life is perfectly organized and your nervous system magically is calm. If that were the requirement, none of us would make it through the front door, and this program would not even exist. This is about asking yourself, am I ready to take responsibility for my healing? Am I open to see my patterns differently? Am I willing to stop letting survival mode run the mission? Am I ready to become the version of me my life is asking for? And if the answer is yes, even if it is a shaky yes, then this is your invitation. This is your sign. Inside the program, I will walk you through the process step by step. You will learn how to understand your nervous system. You will learn how to recognize your survival patterns. You will learn how to regulate before reacting. You will learn how to map your triggers. You will learn how to release old emotional patterns. You will learn how to rebuild your identity. You will learn how to create boundaries, habits, and choices that support who you are becoming. And you will learn how to lead yourself from purpose instead of survival. And yes, if you step in and realize it's not the right fit, you can cancel. No guilt, no shame, no awkward, I have to pretend this is for me energy. Because healing should feel like an invitation, not a trap. But I also want to lovingly challenge you. Do not quit on yourself just because the work gets honest. Do not leave just because a pattern gets uncomfortable. Do not mistake resistance for misalignment. Sometimes the part of you that wants to run is the same part of you that has been protecting you for years. So give yourself the chance to stay. Give yourself the chance to be supported. Give yourself the chance to become the happiest, healthiest, most grounded version of you because you are worth it. And the people you love deserve to experience the version of you who is not constantly exhausted, guarded, reactive, shut down, or silently fighting battles they cannot see. They deserve the present version of you, the peaceful version of you, the connected version of you, the joyful version of you. And you deserve that too. You deserve to feel safe in your own body. You deserve to enjoy the little moments without guilt. You deserve to rest without suspicion. You deserve to love and be loved without always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And just in case no one told you today or lately, you are not too far gone. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are worthy of healing. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of love. This is your reset, not because you failed, not because you're weak, not because you need to become someone else, but because the real you is still in there underneath the armor, underneath the stress, the survival patterns, and the old programming. Survival got you here, but it does not have to lead the rest of your life. So come, try the first 7 days of Warrior Reset. Experience the first week. Use the tools, take the assessments, join a group coaching session. See if this feels right for you. And if it does, stay. Stay for your healing. Stay for your peace. Stay for your family. Stay for your future. Stay for the version of you who is ready to stop surviving and start living again. Go to hurtwellness.com and start your 7-day free trial today. Your next mission is not survival. Your next mission is becoming whole. Before we close, I want to thank you for joining me today, and I want to leave you with this. Your nervous system is not your enemy. Your reactions are not proof that you are broken. Your patterns are not a life sentence. They are information and they are signals. They are old strategies that may have helped you survive. But now you get to choose something new. You get to pause, to breathe, regulate, embody safety, to align with who you are becoming, and you get to lead. You do not have to keep living like peace is unsafe. You do not have to keep proving your strength through exhaustion. You do not have to keep fighting battles that are no longer yours. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to reset. You are allowed to rebuild, and you are allowed and encouraged to rise. And if you are ready, I would be honored to walk with you inside Warrior Reset. Go to hurtwellness.com to join the Warrior Reset program today. And remember, your next mission is not survival. Your next mission is becoming who you were always meant to be.